I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck, everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck. Can't stop, unplug, feeling overwhelmed, I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy, gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it, I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life with regret and frenemies. I need focus to keep me from hopeless psychosis if I keep moping. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy, I need some silence, please. You're all too loud, you don't speak quietly. Opinions violently thrown across every surface, it makes me nervous. Is the world honestly burning? That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing. All our minds and put the work in, we got some work, man. I started to do I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase it? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
At the stream. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the late show with Bass and Truth. It's specifically late because I made it late. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yo.
What's up? How you doing there, Bass? How you doing?
I'm right. Yeah.
Damn, this
cooked a nice porterhouse. Cooked a nice porterhouse steak for dinner.
It's a little dark in here. Hold up. That's a little bit better. Hold on. We'll try it.
Hold on.
We'll go with the green for the night.
How about them Cowboys?
What, they won?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, UConn, no fish today. I was watching my nephew's soccer games today. Then my Dallas Cowboys played at 4:00, so I had to watch that. So nah. I'll be out there on Tuesday though.
What? All right. So what's going on, everybody? I'm gonna bring up the chat. So what's up, Joe, Diane, all the usual suspects in here? What's going on, folks? last night was an pretty fun, interesting and funny ass show. Um, we had we had last night on the Vault of Nightmares. We had um, we had Dave Wilcutt and Vault's cousin Jeremy go to the farm, and then we cut it from Vault's channel and brought it over here. And then you guys were acting a damn fool in chat. It was a good time last night, though. I enjoyed it. It was funny, fun as hell. And the who would win back comparisons, like Pinhead versus that got interesting.
I can't believe we really dived into that last night. Like, who's gonna win in a villain versus horror movie?
Hey, it got interesting. Some of the matchups there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So I'm All right. So I'm messaging back and forth with a gentleman named Dave and Brock. There they go. Add to stream.
Hold on, I just took my glasses off and everything went fuzzy.
All right. So everybody, this Brock, I cannot pronounce your last name for the life of me, dude. How do you pronounce it?
It's McElwee.
McElwee? All right.
Yeah.
So this is Brock, ladies and gentlemen. The way I linked up with Brock is Mr. Dave Wilcutt. I guess they had met at a truck stop, and they had a conversation and everything, and Dave told him about the show. And I talked to Brock not the night before for quite a while. What happened to my music? Hold up. Bass, you turned my music down?
I didn't touch anything.
What happened to my shit? Oh, the song ended. Sorry, I didn't have it on loop. All right, there we go. I got to keep my ambient music going. But yeah, we talked for, I think I looked at the time, it was like an hour and a half we had talked that first night, and it was pretty, dude, he's got some, this guy is really interesting. I'm telling you that right now. And we're about to dive into this. So let's start off with how you and Dave met.
At a truck stop.
No, like how'd that sequence play out?
I think I just introduced myself to him, and we were like, his truck was getting worked on, and I usually go and I conversate with the truckers and whatnot, just because I consider everyone to be really interesting for my own personal preference. I like to get to know as much people as I can. And then it kind of took off into this talk about. Sorry, my cats are going fucking crazy.
Hold up. You are allowed to curse on this channel, so go ahead, feel free to curse.
Okay. But it took off into us talking about aliens, because I told him that I was on Discovery Channel for a minute, and then we got two Davids in the stream.
Yeah, he's probably using his other phone, but you go ahead. We're good.
But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff, man, and it was over a very quick amount of time, and he found a lot of the things that I said interesting, and he said that I should meet up with you guys and talk.
Yeah. So that led to me getting a friend's request from you, and when I accepted the friend's request and I got the message, it was like, oh, you met. They said that you had met Dave, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and then the whole conversation started. Now Bass is coming into this kind of cold turkey. I told him some of the stuff, but do you want to start when you were younger, the experience when you were like 2 or 3, talking to that person?
Oh, okay, yeah. When I was 2 or 3 years old, we lived in an apartment in Lemon Grove, California, and my mom came into the room and she said that I was talking to somebody, and it wasn't like a gibberish conversation like I had a made up friend. It was like I was actually talking to somebody. And she asked me who I was talking to, and I said that I was talking to a man named Mr. Brandt. And from that moment on, she was like, "Oh, we're getting the hell out of here," so we moved. But yeah, so I ended up talking to, I guess, a ghost when I was a kid.
Okay. Now, prior to the stuff you told me on the other phone call, and after talking to this individual or talking to the spirit, was there anything in that span of time that happened to you that you can recall from when you were little to up until the stuff you told me the other night?
Uh, Not really. I mean, when I was 2 years old, I was something that I did not tell you was when I was 2 years old, I was hit by a car, and I flew 50 feet out of my shoes, and I didn't hit my head.
You did not?
No, I didn't hit my head.
Huh.
A lot of people said that it was like someone was holding me up or holding my back up because I only had road burn on my back.
Interesting. So I think that'll play a little bit into the stuff we get in a little bit. All right.
Well,
So
truth, I remember when you were younger, you got hit by a car also.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I got hit by a car. I don't fucking remember that, but
Yeah, I don't remember getting hit. I remember like kind of the after being in like this metal. It was like a metal crib, and my cousin was trying to give me chocolate milk, but I don't know. That was that was just a little after.
All right. So we're gonna. All right. So we've built up a little bit here. We've got a little baseline going here. Now we're gonna dive into this. All right. So we're gonna start at what you first told me the other night when you got interested and went and saw that. I believe it was a tarot reader, psychic.
Yeah.
So all right, let's start there, and we'll start there. You tell us what was going on, and occasionally I'll break in with a question. Bass might break in with a question. That's the way we try to. Our questions come off the top of our heads. That's how we do the interview process. All right.
Well,
But feel free to start, man. It's your table. Go ahead.
yeah. So when I was 28, I had gotten an interest. I was at this point in my life, I was pretty much atheist, and I didn't believe anything. I was brought up Catholic, and I was baptized Mormon when I was 13, and I left the faith pretty quick, and started living my own life and doing my own thing. And then by the time I was 28, I got to a very dark, not really a dark, but a very depressing area of my life, and I'd never truly believed in anything. So I looked up online, and I was like, well, I wonder what the Wicca arts and thing like that might have to offer. And I went to a place called Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. It was in Aurora, Colorado, and I had spoken to a psychic, and her name was Davina. And she gave me a tarot reading, and she was like, "Oh, you're going to be a famous singer." And I was like, to get more in depth with this, I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "I don't even really sing or anything like that." And she was like, "Oh no, you will be a famous singer." And I was like, "Okay." After that had happened, I had gone out. She picked out some of these rocks, and she picked out a bracelet. And the bracelet she gave to me, and she told me that if I were to ever sleep with this bracelet, or to not sleep with the bracelet. And I was like, okay, I will never sleep with the bracelet. But lo and behold, curiosity strikes, and I slept with the bracelet. And the night that I slept with the bracelet, I had a dream that I was in the cafeteria, and I was grabbing all these dessert products off the it was like a cafeteria cart. And at the time, I was going to a modeling and acting school in Denver, and there was a girl that was going there with me, and I looked to the side of me and I saw her, but it wasn't quite her. It was like it was like a zoom in shot. So I saw her, and then it zoomed into her, and it started going up from the bottom of her to the top of her, and it was like the nastiest. It was like a super hairy, nasty, like fat roll lady thing. It went up to the top of her head, and it was this chick. It was her face, but she had this huge Joker smile, and she had these giant fangs. And I was like, well, what the hell is that? So I woke up, and I didn't know what to think of the dream. And at the time, I don't think I actually realized that I was sleeping with the bracelet on. I didn't want to, like, I wasn't trying to test it. I just kind of fell asleep with it. So after that had happened, I went, I was working at King Soopers in Parker, Colorado at the time. And I was driving to work, and I saw this star in the sky, and it was the most beautiful big star that I'd ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that. It didn't move or anything. Like, I even called my parents. I was like, can you keep an eye on this for me, because I don't know if this thing's gonna move left or right or anything like that. And yeah, sure enough, it didn't move. So I didn't think a whole lot of it at the time. But going to work for about 2 weeks, this star was still in the sky, and I didn't know why. And I was just like, this is not normal. And I'd ask people about it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, it's a star. And I'm like, but it's huge. Like, do you not see this?
It froze up a little bit, Brock.
To work. And I did. I'm good?
Yeah, you're good now. Now, while we're paused here,
Okay.
could you relate to us what this bracelet looked like?
It was like black onyx.
Okay.
It was a bunch of beads.
Okay. And the stones look the same way?
Yeah, they all looked the same all the way around. It was just a bunch of circle beads.
Let's see, boom. If you look at, got to come across. See, our chat that we have over here. These guys are pretty on point. They're pretty knowledgeable. Like these guys are well versed in stuff also. So, like, more than likely, anything you say, one of these guys have heard something like that. But sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, you're good. You're good. So I was going to work, and then I was stocking stuff on the shelves, and I had this bracelet on, and I had these rocks in my pocket. And I was stocking stuff on the shelves, and then stuff started moving on its own. And then, like, I went to go dump some cardboard off in the trash can, and the doors that open up into where the trash compactor is opened up behind me by themselves. And I ran out to see if there was anyone there, but no one was there, so I thought I was losing my mind. And I was just like, what the heck's going on? So I started having these thoughts, and I was like, well, I gotta go like pray or do something, because something is going on in my mind. So it's like 3:30 in the morning, and I went outside, and I went to my car. It was my lunch break, and I looked up on my phone a prayer to Archangel Michael, and I found this prayer that I can't find any at all whatsoever today. It was a genealogical prayer that was like, it goes through your family line and releases you of a bunch of stuff. And I said this prayer to a T, and I usually stutter when I talk or when I read things, and I was reading this aloud. And as soon as I read this entire prayer, and I got to the very end, I closed my eyes, I said amen, and then it was like the darkest black you'd ever see in your life. It was like a void of nothingness passed over my eyes. And then I got out of my car, started having a huge anxiety attack, and in the corners of my eyes and my peripheral vision, I started seeing a satyr. And the satyr didn't look like a human satyr or anything like that, but it looked like a kind of like a claymation satyr. It looked like it was made out of clay, and it had this really pissed off look on its face. And so I started getting freaked out, and I was going inside, and I walked inside this grocery store. And as soon as I walked in the grocery store, I passed by this scratch ticket machine, and I looked over to my left or my right, and on the little LCD display panel, it said dispensing all tickets. And after it said that, it only shot one ticket out. And I picked it up, and then I heard this little voice in my head. Like it wasn't me, but it sounds like you when it's talking, but you know it's not you.
Yeah.
And it said, "Thou shalt not steal." And I was like, okay. And so I threw this shit back, and I was like, no, fuck that. And I walked up to my boss, and I'm starting to get really panicky and super anxious. And I said, I have to go home because I'm not feeling good at all. This is the first time in my life that I'm like on the brink of hyperventilating. And I'm starting to walk out after I tell my boss, and I start hyperventilating. And when I'm walking out, I start freaking out a little bit more. And I get this feeling in the bottom of my stomach that I've never felt before. And it was like this feeling was telling me that if I went outside and I started driving, then I would, something was going to happen to me. And I didn't know what. And I just knew that something was going to happen to me. So I kind of said, fuck it. And I walked outside, went to my car. And sure enough, as soon as I started driving and I hit the lip of the parking lot, it felt like my insides, to put it into an easy way to understand, it's like my insides exploded and started swirling around, and it was like a very intense fire that didn't burn.
Okay.
But it was like making me feel like I was going to pass out. And I was driving, and somehow I ended up getting home. And I got out of my car. I went into my house. This anxious feeling started subsiding a little bit. And I went to my parents' room, and I was like, Mom, Dad, I need someone to sleep with me tonight because something's going to get my ass. And I was like, someone's got to sleep with me. And my dad was like, fine, I'll come down and sleep with you. And at that moment, I was sleeping in the basement. So I walk downstairs. I sit on the bed. He lays down next to me. He falls asleep pretty much immediately. And as this happens, I get this feeling in my stomach that I need to puke. And I went to the bathroom and I started throwing up. And when I threw up, this little red thing came out, and I don't know what the hell it was. But then I went back to my bed. My dad's knocked out. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, fuck. I told someone to sleep with me. He just knocked the fuck out. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's like, now I'm alone again. And I'm sitting there and it's really quiet for about 5 minutes.
What time of morning? What time of day was this? What time of night?
It would be like 4 or 5 in the morning, because when I went out about 3:30, got back, it was 4 is in the morning time.
Okay.
But it was still dark.
All right.
And I'm sitting there, and then in the still silence, I hear how do I make this happen? So behind me, I have my little case here. I hear a rattling knock, really fucking loud, and then it moves all the clothes in my closet. And on the right hand side of my bed, I hear this fucking deep ass growl. And I was like, "Oh shit, there's a fucking demon in my room." And I wake my dad up, and my dad, he's post-stroke, he's had a liver transplant. He's practically deaf. He woke up, and I was like, "Dad, did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And he was like, "I didn't hear anything. I was asleep." And he just told me, "Just go to sleep. You're going to be fine. It's okay." And he starts falling asleep again. And just before he falls asleep, it mimics the entire thing to a T, the same exact sequence. The knocking, the fucking clothes moving, and then the growl on the right-hand side of the bed. And he's practically deaf. The only thing that he hears is the knocking. He doesn't hear the growl. But he says, "Okay, we got to get out of here." And we went upstairs. Now, as I'm going up the stairs, it was like someone bitch slapped me in the face with evil. It was just all of a sudden and everything I looked at, didn't matter what the hell it was. Look at my dad, could look at my dogs, look at my mom, they could say anything. Everything sounded evil and everything looked evil. And I went upstairs. Somehow I fell asleep, but I was terrified out of my mind. woke up in the morning. Hey. As I wake up in the morning, I'm sitting there and I get this feeling in my body like something is like sucking me dry of moisture and water, and like my body is like being drained, and I don't know why, and it's driving me nuts. So for the next 3 days, everything was evil, and I was having this draining feeling, and I got these Holy Mary candle things, the things you buy in the store that have like little like Jesus things on them, and the Holy Mary things. I started lighting those candles and shit. I invited I was desperate, so I invited like the Mormon bishops and the missionaries to bless the house and stuff. Nothing fucking happened at all. It didn't clear anything whatsoever. And I was praying to God, and I had asked God, I said, if you help me, I promise you I'll read at least a page of the Bible once a day. It was my promise, and I didn't end up keeping that promise, and it bit me in the ass later on. But, however, on the third day, I sat down on the couch, and I was like, what can I do? And I looked over to my left, and I opened up the arm of this chair, and inside the arm of the couch, inside the arm of this love seat couch, was the rocks and the beads, and the bracelet. And I picked them up, and I was like, "Huh? Oh, you go away." Sorry, it's my cat.
That's all right.
And they're going nuts. You can see it's cute. But so I have these rocks and these beads in my hand, and I'm like, I guess I should get rid of these. And I walked out to the dumpster outside, and I threw them in the dumpster. And if you can, and as I'm walking away from the dumpster, if you can imagine, no, you can't touch these people. As I'm walking away from the dumpster, if you can imagine little tiny suction cups, like pulling off the back, coming off the back of your spine, like a little octopus tentacle or something. It was tiny, but it was just it went bop, 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 bop. And as they came off the back of my spine, I walked into my house, and I was filled with not despair anymore, but my entire body and everything was filled with love and peace and like calmingness, and it was just like I felt like I was floating on a cloud, and it was amazing. And then I was like, okay, so God really helped me. So I started reading the Bible and whatnot. And then the next Sunday, my mom was going to the Mormon church, because she's still pretty devout to that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to come with you. And I go to church with her on Sunday, and we go in there, and there's the sacrament, which is in all religions for Christianity is the bread and water, or the wine, or the juice, or whatever you drink. I'm sitting there, I eat the bread, and as I eat the bread, nothing happens. I just say a couple prayers. But as I take this little tiny cup of water and I drink it, this cold feeling starts swooshing all around my body, and it feels so nice. It's super peaceful, but I literally feel, and like I felt like I fucking grew wings. Like I had an appendage on the back of my body that was not there, but it was there.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm feeling like I'm floating on a cloud. I even walked by one of the elder people of this Mormon church, and I looked at him, and I said, man, I feel like I have wings. And he looked at me like I was crazy, but I walked out, and I went into the car, and that feeling dissipated, but I still had this like super high feeling like I was like floating on a cloud, and it lasted about 2 months.
All right. So all right, I want to backtrack a little bit here. So the incident in your bedroom, right? So You said it knocked, banged on the wall, and then the clothes shifted, right? And then it was on the side of the bed. So, say like I'm looking for like that. Did the knocking, close, and growl go from like a direction? Did it go from like left to right and then down towards your bed?
So
Like it was moving across your room?
so imagine like looking behind me. It
Mm-hmm.
went from here all the way down there to a closet that had clothes in it.
Yeah.
Clothes in the closet, and then it went from that closet over there to that corner of the bed over there.
Okay. So it was like it was making its way around the room,
Yeah.
getting closer to you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And my second question is, when you were sitting on the couch, and you were you thinking? Didn't you? Did you? I remember you told me you thought you were thinking, what has changed in my life in the last few days, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
So there was a thought process behind it.
you found them in the you found them in the. So do you remember putting them in that armrest of that couch, or?
Well, to be honest with you right now, I honestly can't remember where I ended up putting them. I just remember opening that thing and they were there.
Mm, all right. Okay. So I'm yeah that. So I was saying last night we got into this a little bit. You know the instances where people it happens in movies all the time. You know when somebody says don't look down and people look down because you just told them not to.
Yeah.
Even if they don't mean to, they do it. I think that lady did that shit on purpose. She told you don't sleep with that bracelet on purpose, and then subconsciously you did it. It was that don't look down mentality, and
Yep.
I think she did. I think this whole thing was brought on purpose because, like I said the other night, she sensed something about you, and we'll get into that. We can start getting into that if you want.
Did she tell you anything else?
Oops. Oh shit.
You're with dark owners.
Yeah. Did you tell me anything else? You told me that,
Yeah.
like, the main thing you said that I would be very famous and that I would end up helping a lot of people one day.
So now I think Bass was alluding to the twin thing.
Oh, so that wasn't this lady. I had gone and I was reading the Bible and stuff, and then I guess I don't know. There's something that psychics can do, and one of them referred to it as ear rape, and it's where they pretty much put you in like this, like wanting, where you always want to know more and more and more and more, and you keep contacting as many as you possibly can. And through the vast amount of psychics that I spoke to, which I got out of, thank God, one of them had told me that I would end up meeting some twins, and they would introduce me to everyone I would need to know. And I was just like, what the hell does that mean? And that was about 3 years ago. I was living in South Central Los Angeles at the time.
Well, here we are. Like I told you, like I told you earlier on the phone, I don't believe in coincidences, man. That's not a thing I believe in. So maybe there's a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with this group of people that you're now talking to, you could probably get some answers for.
A lot of shit. Oh yeah, a lot of shit. All right, so let's. I want to start diving into the instance where people started noticing stuff about you.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
okay, go ahead.
Um, so after all these experiences, oh, I'd actually like to, instead of going to that,
Mhm.
to allude on basically after that experience happened with the demon or whatever, I had a series of dreams. And those dreams, the reason why I call myself an esoteric Christian today is it's a finite amount of knowledge of Christianity is because Christ ended up coming to me in my dreams. And the only thing that this man said to me was to believe in myself, because at the time I was very down and I was not believing in myself to do anything that I possibly could. And then he showed me a series of like movie reels of what things I could be capable of. And this also ended up leading more to like really weird experiences, which kind of leads into like the things happening around me and people coming to me. And ever since that experience has happened, it's like evil literally seeks to come against me. Or just weird ass shit happens. So
It's like you become a magnet for it.
yeah, and it's because I find myself one of the main things I did in Hollywood and the things that I did in South Central. I had sold everything I owned after that experience, and I moved to South Central, and I was living in like the most minority place for myself, and it was a totally different experience. It was a huge wake up call. And what I would do is I would go around to anyone and everyone that I felt like I could have a conversation with, and most of it was homeless people that
Froze up almost for a second.
talk to all that very often. And I would go and I'd talk to them and everything went circly. But I would talk to them all the time. However, I was walking down, I was in Santa Monica, and I was walking down. There was this lady, and she was talking to the street. She was like, hubba, hubba, jubila doo, blah, blah. And she's saying a bunch of gibberish to the street, talking to nothing at all. And she could have been talking to something. But as soon as I walked by her, she stopped doing what she was doing. She flipped around in a 180 and she said, "Holy shit, I didn't know that angels walk in Los Angeles." And I was like, what does that mean? And she looked me dead in the eyes and said that. So I didn't understand it at that time.
But that wasn't the only time that's happened to you.
No. Well, not in the angel sense, but I was sitting at a bar here in Wyoming, and there was a couple here that walked up to me, and they were dressed really nice, and they were, come to find out, they were realtors in Casper. And they asked me, they said, "Oh, hey, we know that your soul isn't from this planet." And they opened up the conversation with that. And I was like, what the heck do you mean? And they're like, yeah, we know that you're not from here. And whenever you come here, you always do something that's incredible. And I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, why are you telling me these things? And it's, I don't know, that's happened before. There was a guy at an electronic festival who
No. We're not. Let's not skip over what the guy said to you at the bar. When he offered to buy for anything because he wanted a piece of the pie.
offer a piece of pie.
No, the guy and his wife.
Yeah. He said, he told me, he's like, yeah, whatever you do and whatnot, I just want a piece of the pie. And I'm like, why? Thank you for reminding me of that. I just want a piece of the pie, and I was just like, okay, I mean, I'm not really doing a whole lot right now. Like, I'm drinking a beer, sitting at a bar, and you're telling me that I'm from a different fucking planet and shit, and I'm just like, or a different wherever out there my soul is, and I'm just like, what are you trying to tell me? And at the time, I was just like, I don't know, and even still to this day, like,
It just
it
feels
feels,
so random.
yeah, it
Like,
feels random, but it's
yeah.
like always in like susceptible areas. Like I could be drinking, or I could be doing something that's making my cognitive ability a little bit more messed up. However, I'm a little bit more responsible
Hmm.
than that. The guy at the electronic music show, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, and this dude comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, hey, bud, you're back," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, oh, I never left, and he's like, um, "No, I know that your soul's not from this planet," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, and I killed you in a previous life," and I was like, "Okay," and I asked him, "How'd you kill me?" And he said that he buried me in a ditch, and I was like, "Okay, but how did I die?" And he wouldn't tell me. And he said that he was a vessel for uh, other entities to come through to talk through him to give me messages. And I was like, okay, like, what are you getting at here? At first, I was like, are you tripping on anything? And he was pretty sober, but he also offered, he said, since I killed you in a previous life, I want to buy you some drinks. So he ended up buying me 3 drinks for free. And I was like, oh, shit, okay, whatever, man. Like, give me some free drinks if I believe you killed me in a previous life. And then I tried getting more into his brain and stuff, but he would never really give up. He's like, they won't let me tell you things. They won't let me tell you things. And I'm just like, okay. And then he also relayed that he said, be careful with your cigarettes. Because when you're smoking a cigarette and someone's trying to get a hit off of you or something like that, you're essentially giving away something of yourself. Because when you hit a cigarette and you let someone else hit it, you're essentially letting them kiss the cigarette. And it's like you're kissing them.
Yeah. So
I
I
never thought of it. I never thought of it like that. That's
Yeah, it's
okay. Like, all right.
so
Quit sharing your cigarettes, Bass.
yeah. So what did this guy look like?
He was blonde, he had blue eyes, and he was very skinny. He was a little bit odd and off. He's kind of like a hippie, but at the same time, he didn't act like he was on like any hallucinogenics.
So he specifically bought you 3 drinks.
Yeah, specifically, it was 3 drinks. He's like, here, you can have these 3 drinks.
So he said he wanted to buy you drinks because he had killed you in a previous life. Could he have killed you 3 different times, and that's what the signifying of the 3 drinks?
Quite possibly, actually. So he referenced me as Bud. One other thing that he did say is that I was an up-and-coming bass DJ in a previous life. And I was like, okay. I mean, I make electronic music now. However, like, I'm skeptical on the whole, like, previous life type deal. I kind of believe in reincarnation because there's a few passages within the Bible that I've read, like Jeremiah. I don't know if it would be a reincarnation, but God tells Jeremiah in the beginning of that scripture, I knew you before you were born, and I had plans for
you. So now we've talked about this woman that gave you this bracelet and these stones, and we've talked about the demon following and how people have been coming up to you and saying these really weird random things, right? So now I'm gonna backtrack back to this lady.
Could you give me like 2 seconds, really quick? My cats
Yeah.
just fell into a box that are
Yeah.
sealed.
Yeah, go ahead. Did you drink the drinks? That's a good question, Holly. I would think so.
All right. I don't share cigarettes. Let's just put that out there right there.
Neither do I. I'll give you one out of the pack, but you're not gonna drag off of something I have in my cigarette. When people ask that shit, I look at them like they got I legit look at them like they got cooties. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Cooties.
Like, ew, nasty mother. Ew, you nasty.
Question: Do you mind if I go smoke a cigarette?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. We're sitting here shooting the shit. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Yeah, I drank the drink, Holly.
But if you smoke a cigarette, me and Dave was just smoking one.
I don't smoke inside.
Yeah, I don't smoke inside either. No, yeah, you're good, man. Whatever. So, what do you guys? How you guys enjoying the show so far this evening? I am.
Yep.
Brock is a very interesting dude, man. Very.
Hey,
interesting.
Told you he was.
Very interesting. Now, what was the message you sent me earlier? You got a buddy that's had Bigfoot trouble?
Oh, he's had a lot of Bigfoot sightings and a lot of UFO and orb sightings on their farm.
So if I gotta
I
get you
wanted-
into that group text.
Why?
I forgot to add you into
Yeah,
that.
we need to add truth to the group text.
Well,
Gotta add chaos into that also.
the real question is, why am I not in it already?
Because
Yeah,
it was like
Bass.
2 o'clock. I think it was 2:00 in the morning when I
So,
started.
so
Leaving your brother out?
like, motherfucker, I ain't at the top of your contact list as like in the favorites. What the fuck? I see how it is.
That's like taking the top Oreo cookie and throwing it to the side.
I see how it is, motherfucker. I got you.
All right, for everybody who's listening that's in that group chat, I'll start a new one and he will be included. Okay, I apologize.
Okay.
Damn straight, motherfucker.
Yeah, because the only one here tonight I see is Pop Pop.
Yep, Joe.
What I like what Wedge put in there. Someone kills me in a past life is bad, but 3, nah, you ain't getting a 4th chance to take me out. Well, a question when we were discussing, when me and Brock were talking the other night, one thing that was brought up by this gentleman is he did ask him if he was good, taking a path of good or evil this time. And Brock had told him he's generally a good person, and then that's when the guy offered him the drinks.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I never asked him that because I'm only, letting him tell his story.
So while they're telling the story, man, everything's I'm pondering. I'm getting they're all getting stashed up here. All the questions.
Yeah.
And he's had some pretty interesting UFO encounters also.
Oh yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm listening to this cold turkey. You guys have heard some of his stories. Like, this is the first time I'm like hearing
Ow!
it. So.
Fuck, that hurt.
What you do? Spill your coffee?
No. When I fell down the steps fucking last Monday, I just banged that part of my shin on the fucking desk, right on the scab.
Oh.
You'll be all right.
Dude, my body, dude, I fell on Monday, and as the week went on, everything started fucking hurting, dude. Like, I felt like my hips were hurting, my knees, my thighs, everything. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you fall down the steps like Aunt Bunny?
Oh, man. Hey, you guys.
Oh, Lord Jesus, now help me now.
You guys, I highly recommend do not take a fall close to your 40s. It's not gonna fucking work out for you, man. It's gonna hurt.
I don't know, man. My freaking left thumb has been acting crazy the last couple of
That's
days.
just like I'm just now starting to feel a little bit better, but my fucking shin hurts, dude.
I try to put myself in a position not to take a tumble like that.
Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
planning. Listen, I wasn't fucking planning on it, but
You
Oakley's
mess around
collar,
you mess
Oakley's
around and go
collar.
ass over tea kettle in your 40s, then you might be laid up for a month.
Oakley's fucking collar unlatched while I'm like trying to put her on her thing, so it comes off. I got her fucking collar in my hand, and I see her getting ready to take off. So I kind of like dive forward a little bit, and I grab her by her tail. And as I'm diving forward face first, I plant my elbow down, or as you can see, my elbow's a little fucked up. I land on my elbow, and then my shin and toes proceed to scrape down the stone steps. And then I grabbed Oakley and I threw her in the house by her tail. And then I got up and limped and I moaned for a few minutes. That shit hurt.
Oh, you did the Family Guy when Peter gets kicked in the shin and just like.
I did, but I did that standing up in my kitchen, like holding, like with my hand on my knees, like. I must have been in that position for like 5 minutes. That shit hurt.
All right.
Giggity. All right, welcome back, Brock. You see, this is how the show goes, man. We are fucking full of whatever we're full of, dude. Oh shit! All right, yeah. Now we're gonna dive into me and Bass's wheelhouse, UFOs.
Man. I think I got tears coming on my eyes.
I'm sorry, man. We're fucking. All right, sorry. Go ahead. All right, you had a series of UFO encounters.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking bastard. So when I was 18, I was living in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was getting ready to play some water workout because I was a pretty big gaming nerd. But I sat down and I was stretching, and I looked outside my window. And as soon as I looked out my window, I looked up and I saw it was a circular object that was like looking at a full moon in the sky, but like really close to you. And it was really, really close. Like, I'm pretty sure if I looked more directly and had more of a better memory of it, I could probably see like if there was etchings on this freaking ship. And I got up and I was like, well, shit. My dad believes in this stuff, and he was sleeping at the time, and I went into his room and I said, Dad, there's a freaking UFO outside. There's a UFO outside. And it's not at nighttime. It's at 10:45 in the morning. It is broad fucking daylight. And this thing is right above me. And I go and I get my dad, and he's like, oh, you better not be shitting me. And then he gets up and he comes with me to the window, and he's like, oh, fuck. Holy shit. And I get my camera, and I'm afraid to go outside the house because I've seen too many abduction films and shit, and like I was afraid of shit at that time. And I go and I snap some pictures, and I keep snapping pictures, and this thing's in the air for like 45 minutes, and it's drifting very slowly out, and it stops, and it moves to the left, and then it stops, and then it moves to the right, and then it stops, and then it starts drifting more and more out over the sea. But in this time span, me and my dad called the cops. We called air traffic control. There was nothing in the airspace. The cops had got to the house after it had disappeared, and they were like, whoa. And we showed them the pictures and everything, and then I ended up sending my pictures in to MUFON, and they sent Discovery Channel to my house for Monsters and Mysteries in Alaska. And I was on there for like 3 or 4 seconds, but it's clearly me with a really, like, I guess a Lego man haircut, and it says drop. But
So MUFON,
yeah, MUFON.
they're I've actually had an interaction with MUFON that wasn't positive at all. Um, Me and the guy, I told the guy about what happened with me and Bass, and he took down my information. It took him 2 months to call me, right? And then I uh I was at work and I missed a call. Then I tried to call him back, and it was like playing telephone tag with this guy for like 6 or 7 months. And I just finally said, "Yo, I don't even want to talk to you guys anymore." And then I did report on. There's a website called the National UFO Reporting Center.
Yep,
I
near Fort.
I did report. Don't ever report a UFO sighting on there. I reported a UFO sighting I had, and then the next day a fucking black helicopter shows up and buzzes me at work.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Kind of like the helicopter that showed up with me and Jeremy last night.
yeah, like so
That was weird.
I'd say be forewarned about
Yeah.
putting reports in at certain websites and shit like
And
that.
what you are reporting.
We sent the pictures and the videos off to MUFON through an email, and then they got back to us like a year later about it.
It took them a year.
Almost a year. Well, they said that we're sending Discovery Channel out to your house. Would you like to do some interviews? And
Wow.
it took them a year to send Discovery Channel for the show out.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with it.
Who's the new head of MUFON? That's not Bigelow, is it?
No, Bigelow runs NIDS.
No, he also brought up like one of the UFO like things, I believe. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure he's involved with, it's either Norfolk now or MUFON. It's one of those.
He brought controlling stake in something. I don't know because I don't follow Bigelow because he's part of that corporate agenda. I mean, the fucking guy's company logo is an alien head.
Yeah, pretty much.
A little right on the nose, don't you think?
Bigelow Aerospace.
A little right on the nose, don't you think? But that wasn't the first. That wasn't your only UFO encounter, right?
No. Okay. So after that experience with, I guess, freeing me of whatever the heck was going on, I had that series of dreams, and then I was in South Central Los Angeles, and I have a thing with time now. Still, a lot of different things in my life happen on different digits. It might be a pattern that I developed in my head to look at time specifically when things happen, but a lot of things in my life, choices and whatnot, happen on 222, 333, 1111, 1234, and then various different times. And I don't know what to think of it. However, I believe that it's like, oh, you make a choice. And a lot of the times now, it's like when I go out to smoke a cigarette and I come back in, I look at the clock and it's 11:11. And I'm like, is that telling me like that it shouldn't, or is it just a pattern that I've developed in my head? However, throughout these experiences, I was sitting on my stoop, and I looked at my phone, and it said that the sunset was supposed to be happening at 5:55 p.m. And this was in March. And I was sitting there, and I feel like I was very, very close to God in my own way at that time. And I was sitting on my stoop, and I prayed to God. I said, "Oh God, just show me something that will blow my mind, and like show me something that would like help me or something like that." And I'm sitting there, 5:55 rolls around, sunset starts happening, and I'm watching the sun go down, and then I fixate on the cloud. And as I fixate on this cloud, these little lights start shooting through it, and this cloud literally morphs. And the best way to describe it, it morphed into this ship-looking thing that looked like the Death Star from Star Wars. However, it was just pitch black. When I was living at the time, I was living in a hostel with 25 other people, and one of my shut up. 25 other people, and I made a friend. His name was Jamal. He was a fashion designer, and I was like, oh shit, I need to go get Jamal or someone that I can. He was the first person that I saw in the house, and I was like, Jamal, come outside. I need you to see this, so I'm not freaking crazy or anything. And I came back outside, and it was still in the sky. I was like, oh my god, this thing's still here. And I was like, hey Jamal, what's that? What is that? And he's like, well, I don't know what that is. He's like, is that the moon? And I was like, does the moon impede the power lines and drift toward you? And then at that moment, his jaw dropped, and he just started staring. And then he says, I was like, what do you think it is? And he says, I'm just taking this as confirmation. And I was like, I don't know what the hell you mean by that, but I'm sitting there, and as I'm reaching into my pocket for my phone, I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to take a picture. That little, I call it like the still small voice, or just like a voice in your head it sounds like you, but it's not you.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, just don't do it. And I was like, okay. So I put my phone back in my pocket. We're still sitting there looking at this thing. It's been in the sky for about 15 minutes or so. And we're looking at it, and then this person walks by. And they say, what you looking at? What you looking at? What you looking at? And as soon as I start raising my finger point at the sky, it was literally like something had just wiped it out of the sky. It turned into like a cloud thing, and it was like a bunch of gold. Like it was like a golden cloud that kind of just like ripped apart.
Now, I the other night I asked you, your friend's pretty religious too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I had made the comment of when you told me this last night, and I'm gonna share what I had said. I had said maybe that was supposed to be seen by you and your friend because you were religious, and this person that was walking up wasn't in the same frame of mind. You know what I mean? And that's why it was taken away.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it was why you got that little voice saying don't take the picture, because it was only meant for you two to see it. Now, why it would make itself now if it was the God, right? Why would he make it appear as a massive craft?
I don't know. Like when I read the Bible, I get skeptical of things because back then they said, and he ascended to the heavens. Well, the heavens at that time was the atmosphere. It wasn't the heavens. Like it was literally space. Like he ascended to the clouds.
Yeah.
And it would only make sense for me to think that, aliens are definitely way, way more intelligent than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man was to come to Earth, think of it like, the way I think of it is like an alien can essentially look at you, and I guess you can confirm it to absorb it like into your body or whatever, and like it can manifest things through you while you still have control and tell you things. Like putting into essence the Holy Spirit. What if it's something that is there that would be alien that would help you speak for God?
Now, sorry, I was just this. Do you think that some of these alien species could be angelic beings?
I mean, if they say there's angels and demons in the Bible, but then there's also multiple different other types of entities throughout different myths, religions, and whatnot. So I believe that they definitely could be higher entities that can't per se interact with humans except for on a spiritual level. Because like I look at it like if aliens wanted to harm us, the only way that they could harm us is through manipulation, because they're smarter. And if they're that much higher, then violence wouldn't necessarily be the answer. And if it was the answer, then we would already be wiped out.
So you think if they really wanted to kill us, they wouldn't be using subversion. It would be
No, they would just kill us.
it'd be overt.
Yeah, it would be like the movies. Like, you would just die.
Now, okay. So now, do you want to talk about the episode that you had with the beings with the blurry faces?
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I want to hear this. Hold on. Let me perk up.
All right.
You ain't been listening?
No.
One second. 1 second though. Hey, Bass, slide that noggin of yours over to the side.
Where?
Move your head. Move your head. You see that poster back there? Move your head, motherfucker.
Fuck off.
You see that poster back there, ladies and gentlemen? That's Modern Warfare. That's coming out pretty soon. Get on it, because I will be on it. I don't know if Bass is going to play it, but that's...
So,
I
played the story mode and shit first, man.
All right, back to what we were doing. All right, I'll be right back. You guys continue what you're doing. All right.
Or I'll wait till he gets back to talk about the blurry faces, because I feel like it would be a more cohesive.
I had to step away for a few minutes because I had to go like refresh my cup of tea.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to get a drink and whatnot as well, because my mouth is getting dry as hell.
You had to get a spot of tea.
Well, I'd have a much
Dude,
better.
Earl Grey. That's
I'm in the midst of.
Oh, you don't drink coffee? No, I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. That's crazy. What are you talking about? Whatever.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
All right, no problem.
Is there a way to? Because I'm only seeing like U4. Is there a way to see like any chat or anything like that?
You
Look at the bottom, and you'll be able to see the chat button, and it'll take you over to the chat where it's on the private or the mainstream. But you can see all the chat there, but you won't see everybody.
Are you running on your phone or are you running on a laptop?
I'm running a 12.9-inch iPad right now. My computer is disconnected because my cats are trying to eat the cords, and I'm trying to move.
So you know what? You could probably you can bring up different apps.
Like,
if you're rating the StreamYard right now, if you bring up the YouTube app and bring up the show, you could just put it on. Basically turn the volume down on the show and watch the chat live. Or if you have your cell phone, just bring the show up on your cell phone and just like turn the volume down, and the chat will scroll live, and you'll be able to talk to everybody and everything like that.
Are you live streaming on YouTube right now?
Yep. And Impromptu Truth.
And I think I followed it already. Let's see.
It should be like a red microphone.
I see it.
Yep, we're live. You just bring that up and just turn the volume down, and then you could just watch the chat live right there. That's how I do it. Like, because I'm on the backside of StreamYard, so if I comment on something, it's not gonna come up as Bass. It's gonna come up truth and shit. So, and that's occasionally why you see me like looking away, like.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat right now.
All right, so, oh shit, Dave. So how's Jeremy feeling from after last night?
He's better. He went back out there earlier
by himself.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to bother you to come out for 30 or 45 minutes." I'm like, "You wouldn't bother me. I'd be better to go out there and watch your back."
Because I was thinking, I was like, dude, I don't know if he should go out there by himself after
last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like whatever happened was directed straight at him.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Vault today, and he thinks whatever hit Jeremy was on Jeremy's left side. And
right,
if you remember at the very beginning...
You're standing to his right. He's to your left, so it would have been coming from
the
his
left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen until you guys both put your lights on the X.
Yep. And see, to our left, when we came through the gate and started down the hill, and I saw that eye that disappeared, then another, or it reappeared. That was the only time I saw any eyes. Because remember, I kept seeing the little eyes around. It could have been little bugs or dew reflecting. Yeah. But that was the only two that would disappear. Everything else stayed in place. So it came from that direction, from Jeremy's left.
Truth had to reset his internet.
Did you get your underwear straight?
This shit booted me.
All right. So for everybody that didn't listen to Volt's show last night, you got to go back and listen to his show from last night and go to the about 54 minute mark and listen through.
What's up, Rogue?
You're gonna hear what's going on, Rogue.
What's up?
And you're gonna hear something caught on audio that Dave and Jeremy did not hear. And
Crystal, have a good night.
Crystal,
have a good night, Crystal.
People on Jeremy's TikTok heard it also, and it was caught live on YouTube. Then Jeremy got very sick, and then we hopped over on this channel, and Dave was walking by Jeremy. Jeremy sat down for like 5 minutes, and then they just like got out of the area. And he said that he goes into that area numerous times, 4 or 5 days a week or something like that.
At least 3 times a week.
First time he's ever experienced something like that. Me personally, I think it had to do with him bringing you out there.
Very big possibility. Because
you're so used to him, like,
if you remember when Chase, Vault, Z-Wiki, and Jeremy all went out there, nobody was taller than Vault or Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I come out there, bigger. I'm a lot bigger. And what little we heard,
maybe they felt threatened.
Exactly.
Like, our normal guys.
Why are you bringing this big?
Our normal guys here. Why are you bringing this big guy here?
But wait a minute, wait.
But I'm pretty sure Roy's bigger than you.
Roy's bigger than me. He is 6'6".
So, I wonder what the problem could have been.
But you know what? I don't think he stayed in the area that long to.
No, remember he was hiding his ass out that area.
Yeah, he was knees to elbows, man.
Like I said last night, I wonder if infrasound can be pinpointed at somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just, it just doesn't start and then funnel out and then catch whatever. I wonder if it could be pinpointed like a fucking laser at somebody.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I think energy can. Any sound, any light, anything can be funneled down to a point, I think.
But are these animals capable of doing it, though? You know what I mean?
Your guess is as good as mine on that one, brother.
That's why Vault thinks it was to our left.
Yeah.
And Jeremy was blocking, and it hit him directly.
He took most of the brunt of it.
Right.
Yeah. I can see that because say this cup is Jeremy, this is you. It would have came at Jeremy and then hit him and then dissipated around it, and it would have blocked. It wouldn't have. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, if you were where Jeremy was standing, that shit would have hit you like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than say it being like pinpointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe whatever it was trying to get both of you, but Jeremy was in direct path of it.
Yeah, that's why I said at the beginning of the show when I saw that eye that blinked out and moved. That was the general area to Jeremy's left from that X.
All right. Now, remember last night during the show, you kept talking about you was hearing like the crickets and everything from your right, but you
Yep.
weren't hearing anything from your left. Now, is this that
Nope.
same left that Jeremy was on when you guys got to the X?
Actually, that would have been to my back because the right is where that pond is.
Okay.
And remember, when we got to the pond, we was on, I'd say the northwest side of it. And he bent down kneeling. And when I walked up that hill, that's when I smelled that urine smell of deer. I only smelled it maybe 3 times, small hints of it.
Yeah, but that was
it.
after whatever that was caught on audio.
Yeah, that was after.
Now, I'm talking about when you guys were, I'm talking about like before you guys got to the X, you were saying you was hearing crickets on your right, nothing on
Yep.
your left. Now, if you're following that line to the X, would that still been the same direction that Jeremy was standing from the X? Like if you were basically like almost walking a straight line, which I know you weren't, but
No.
so you guys were like crossing paths here and there, and
Yeah, we was making
Okay.
circles and loops
okay,
because we went down and came back up and followed that fence line and went back up to that X. And once we got up to the X, our left was where we came in at. Back towards where the dogs were that you first heard. And if you remember, when we was coming out, those dogs were very damn quiet when we was coming out. So you can basically sit there and say, we're right here. Whatever it was right here. And right here's the house. We went around it because the crickets always stayed to the right. Because when we're looking at the X, it's right, but to my back. So it's always stayed to the right because that's where the lake is. But whatever it was between us and the house where those dogs were barking. And then that's where I saw those eyes was up by that house behind it.
Hey, Brock, see, we even got mad scientists in our chat, man. Fucking building and mobilizing weapons and shit, man. You guys are gonna get me flagged, man. It's all love, though. I love you. I love everybody in our chat. They're all fucking cool people.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just shoot black cat fireworks.
All right. So, Brock, is there anything else would you like to go into, man? It's an open forum for you.
No, he was waiting for you to come back to talk about the faces.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So after my experience with like this was still in that chain event of experiences that I was having with Christ and seeing the UFO come up, and then I had a dream. The first dream that I had, it was very, very quick, and I was in space, and I was looking in front of me, and there was a saucer-shaped craft in front of me, and inside I saw 4 black silhouettes of people just twirling around. And after I looked at them, I looked down, and when I looked down, there was Earth, and I shot down to Earth, and then I woke up. After that, the next dream that I had, and in all these dreams, it was like I was there. Like it was like I could feel things, and it was different. The next dream that I had, I was in a ship, and I was sitting around, and there was these people around me. They were purple, green, and blue, and they're all human-like except for all their faces were blurry. And they had taken me. It was kind of like in like a snapshot image where like I was in this scene, and then the next thing I was we were going and we landed on this other planet. And when we landed on the planet, it was like Earth, except for all the houses were bubbles. and they were like bunker bubble domes, but there was green grass, there was everything, there were sidewalks, and they took me into this house. We went down the street, we walked over, and we went into this house, and the only thing inside this bubble house was this chair. It was like a dental chair, and I sat down in the house, or in the chair, and they all surrounded me really close, and they said, "Here, take these. Your vitamin levels are low." And they fed me these vitamins, and in my dream, they tasted like Flintstone vitamins. And like I actually tasted it, and I was like, "What the hell?" So, and I didn't think I was dreaming at this point, but once that happened, I realized that I wasn't on Earth anymore, and I got up and I ran outside, and then I started running down the street like, "Where the hell am I? Where the hell am I?" And then I felt a hand on the back of my left shoulder, and I turned around, and this guy with a blurry face says, "Oh, you're not from here." And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I still had the taste of Flintstone vitamins in my mouth.
Now, didn't you come to find out that one of your levels was low too?
Yeah, about a year later, my vitamin D level was low. And I started getting like a shitload of pain in my bones. So I didn't take heed to the warning that they gave me, because they were actually trying to help me.
See, I don't think they were dreams per se. Maybe like with everything that's been going on with you, maybe they were kind of like I wouldn't say out of body experiences, but maybe a sort of a soul transport, maybe. It could have been a physical. They could have been. It could have been a physical happening, and it portrayed it off as a dream. Because, like I told you, me and my brother had that encounter, and then we had those two. We had those dreams on the same night. Not the same night as the encounter, but like we had our dreams the same night as each other.
Oh shit!
So, yeah, because I called him up. I called him up in the morning, spazzing. I was like, "Yo, I just had this fucking dream." Blah blah blah. Yep, that's what it's dream walking. Okay, now, Brock, Roth is. Remember, I was talking to you about the remote viewer.
Yeah.
Rothian Fairmoon in chat is that remote viewer I was telling you about, and this man is pretty damn accurate, and he's really good, and plus he's cool as hell too.
So, yeah, he freaked y'all out that night.
Oh, he didn't freak me out. He freaked Truth out.
Dave and Bass will tell you they were in that show where Roth told me that shit about our encounter, and I pulled the plug. I shut that bitch down quick.
Yeah, Dave thought he did something wrong.
Yeah,
like, I say something. I was like, nah, man. Truth was legit freaked out.
I was like, nah, I'm done for the night, man.
Yeah. One other experience I haven't told anyone of you guys this other experience that I had. But I feel like I had a very like heavy experience with a negative entity that I didn't see or anything, but I was sleeping, and I woke up out of my sleep, and I was sleeping in the same room as Jamal because we were all on bunk beds and we had lockers because it was a hostel with 25 people. And I was sleeping on my top bunk, and he was sleeping on his top bunk, and I woke up pointing my finger at Jamal, and I was screaming. I woke everyone up, and I said, "You stay away from him. You stay away from him." And then I started chanting, "Hey, hey, get away. Hey, hey, get away." And people woke up, and they were like, "What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening?" And I was just like, and I was like in a trance. And then I snapped out of it, and I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Did Jamal wake up?
Yeah, everyone woke up.
What was his response to it? Because he was the one did he realize you were pointing at him?
I'm honestly not sure, because when I snapped out of it, I was like delirious from sleep. And when I was pointing at him, looking over at him, and I don't know what his reaction to it was on his face, because he was sleeping too. It was kind of just like a really loud experience.
Did they try to? We asked fucked up questions here. Did they try to do you like a fucking Private Pile and Full Metal Jacket after that with the soap bars?
No.
All right, yeah, good.
Nah, but it was trippy, man. Like, still to this day, I have weird shit that happens. Like, I met David, and like I said, I draw and I make music and all that stuff.
Some damn good music.
Yeah, he sent me one of his tracks, man. That shit is really good.
Yeah. I want to use some of his music for the videos I want to post.
Definitely.
So with that, the music and everything, right? So naturally, after my experiences, I hadn't been drawing forever. Like, I didn't like spend a lot of time drawing. I didn't spend a lot of time doing music. I never did music or anything before, but it all came to me so easily. Like, it was like I understood how to make music. I understood how to draw in specific ways. And one of the things that I ended up drawing, the first thing that I ended up drawing was, and I didn't know it at the time because I was like not hardcore into religion or anything like that, but I drew the Star of David. And when I drew the Star of David, I drew an eyeball in the middle of it. And I didn't know what the symbolism meant. And I just put it up to like, okay, so after I researched the image, it's the Star of David and God's always watching. But then I started falling into this huge, like massive research pile of studying Nikola Tesla. And when I bring this up, and hopefully be able to see it on the screen, but I showed David this as well. But when you look at Nikola Tesla's spaceship design, it's an eyeball with the Star of David. So when I was researching that, I was just like, does that have any significance? And like, why did I specifically look up Nikola Tesla? And come to find out, he was kind of like a mystic, and he would travel different things with his mind and talk to angels and whatnot. But that was one of the first things that I experienced. But I feel like there's different connections.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just messaging somebody right now.
This whole topic is fascinating, honestly.
It really is, especially the fact that people have been. I think the fact that people have been coming up to you and saying this random weird shit like you're about a previous incarnation of you. Like, how are they able to tell that? You know what I mean?
I don't know. like
that's.
I'm just like,
could it be because their third eye is actually open and not calcified? Especially like the woman that was sitting there chanting on the street with all the gibberish, and she just turns around.
Well, she could have been talking as well. That actually brings up another experience that I had. So, okay, it's okay, Kat. So I had gone.
Please tell me you didn't name the cat Buttons.
No, this one's name is Loki, and my other one is... I don't know where the other one went, actually. But one of the other experiences that was very significant to me in my life, I had gone to Santa Monica again one day because I loved going to the beach. I fucking adore the beach. But I had gone and I went to the shore, and it was extremely windy, and I started praying like out loud and speaking my mind basically. And as I was praying, I asked God, I said, show me something amazing. Show me something amazing. Something that, like, let me have a great day. Let something happen that is going to, like, that's going to blow my mind, basically. Like, I always say the same thing to him every time, or to it, or whatever people want to call it. But I got up and I started walking back down the pier. And as I started walking back down the pier, there was a massive group of people. It was probably about 50 people, and there was one person specifically that it was a black gentleman, and he was wearing a full blown wetsuit, and he had silver chains all around his neck, and then he had cell phones pinned and posted all over his chest. And I was just like, all right, that's a little bit weird. Like, what the hell is that shit? But as we're walking, we get to the stoplight and we stop. In the midst of this crowd of 50 people, I'm looking at the back of his head, and he turns around and he looks directly in my eyes and then turns back around. And I was just like, oh, what the hell? I mean, I guess there's like a sensory thing with people. If you look at them, they can feel you or whatever, but it was pretty like dead on. Like, he just flipped around and started looking at me. And as the walk sign came on, we started walking across the street. And as we walked across the street, we somehow started walking in sync with each other, and we were walking right next to each other. And he opens up conversation with me. And from that moment, we spoke for about 6 hours. And he took me to his favorite pawn shop. He got me a beer. And we were talking about everything and anything that happens in life. And he told me, I was telling him about, like, I was like working on drawing and stuff and exploring my creativity. And the one thing he told me, he said, once you release something or you do something in your life, I will be the first one in line to see whatever it is. And I was like, holy crap. Like, but the thing is, the feeling of talking to him, it was like talking to your best friend, or you're like, someone that you've known for so long and you can love forever. And I didn't understand it at the time, but we got back to the train stop, and he walked onto he didn't walk onto the train, but I asked him, I was like, okay, so you got to take off. And he's like, yeah, and this will be like one of the last times that you see me. And I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, is there anything you want from me? And I was like, or anything I can help you with? And I asked him, I was like, well, I don't have enough money to go on the train, so I could use like $10, and I want to get a drink too. And so he gave me a $10 bill, and he's like, all right, you have a wonderful day. He said, God bless. And he got on the train. I had gotten his Facebook information. His name was Rodney Carter. And I've messaged him on Facebook, trying to get in contact with him to say, hey, what's up? How are you doing? He never responds. He hasn't responded for this day. It's been about 3 or 4 years since that time. But when I stopped, or when I messaged him at first, then I went to his Facebook page, and I started scrolling down. All of his posts were nothing but praise God, praise Jesus Christ, praise everything. It was a bunch of things, like, it was just nonstop scripture. And I was just like, holy crap. And this man wasn't even a priest or a pastor, but I feel like in that moment of my life, that was like God coming through another person to basically like egg me on to like do good with my life and help people.
So have you been to his Facebook page recently? Like, does he still post if you've seen it?
Let me check.
Go.
I mean, it's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure.
Like, because that would let you know that that account is still active. You know what I mean? I think that might have been a manifestation of God having a conversation with you.
Yeah, everything you post still is all God.
Because it makes sense when he said, "Whatever you do, I'll be the first one in line for it." Who if you're relating to God, who would be the first line? Who would be the first in line to see what you do? God, right?
Yeah.
So I think that might have been a manifestation, honestly. or
kind of getting
somebody,
like a
somebody,
guardian angel vibe or something.
yeah, somebody
Yeah.
channeling, or God channeling himself through somebody, because that's just really random. This dude just turns around, stares you in the eyes, and then you sync up when you're
Well,
walking, and then
and the way that he was dressed was just like out of this world. Like he had silver chains. Like people were like, "Yeah, they call me Silver," or he's like, "Yeah, they call me Silverman." And I'm like, "What? Oh, why?" He's like, "Cause all my silver chains around my neck." And I'm like, "But why do you have cell phones all over your chest?" Like he had like 6 cell phones. I was like, "What do you need 6 cell phones for?"
they answer all. That makes sense. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
That one, that's a weird one. Only thing I can think of is he manifested himself through this guy for you, because you did say, "I want show me something. Let's see if I can have a great day." And you provided a great day.
Oh, it was a fantastic day.
Oh, I got a
And
question. Was it old Nokias he was wearing his cell phones or new phones?
it was.
If it was Nokias, that was body armor.
Oh yeah,
No,
those
it was,
block phones you could drop from 50 stories and they won't break.
nah,
Hey, they
it
bounce
was,
up and slap you.
it was like just a bunch of smartphones that he had on his chest.
Oh, okay.
Well, shit, that kind of reminds me of the truth. You know, I was approached to be a Freemason twice. Then I had the one dude say what he said to me when I was working the finish line. And that kind of weirded me the hell out.
Yeah, out of Beth was Bass is the one that's had people, mad weird people, walk up to him. He had one guy walk up to him and say, "Yo, you're gonna work in the church," uh, um, and it was creepy because wasn't the guy staring at you from like across finish line?
Yeah, because I helped him and his daughter. Like she was like looking for basketball sneakers or something like that. So I help him out, bring him over to the register. Now I go back to go help another person. I feel somebody staring at me. I'm like that feeling you get on the back of your neck when you know somebody's looking at you. So I
Yeah.
look over, he's staring at me. So I walk back over to him, like, "Can I help you with something? Like, did I forget something?" And that's when he said what he said to me, and I was taken back by it. I'm like, "What?" But he looked me dead in the eyes, and he was serious about that shit. And I'm like,
And Bass has been approached a couple of times about joining Freemasonry.
"Yeah,
When I was in the military, I got approached from Freemasonry, and I'm actually investigating it at the moment, trying to at least. The guy that the person that I'm renting an apartment downtown from, it's actually a building that was built in the 1800s, and it's deemed to be haunted because most buildings are haunted in downtown Casper here because they're so old. And I have 2 paranormal investigation teams that actually want to like investigate and talk to whatever the hell's there because people have had experiences. However, I'm renting from this guy, and he's like a something degree Mason or whatever. But I got approached before, and I saw the opportunity to join again, and I was like, well, maybe I should check it out because one of the things that he said to me is that in the Mason Lodge, we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics, and your religion is to yourself. We talk about other things. So I'm wondering what those other things are.
Electronic shirt, actually.
I don't know. As far as that goes, you have to be invited. You can't just join like that. You have to be invited to join, right?
Yeah.
He said, I asked him, I was like, so how do I go about joining this? And he's like, well, you just talk to me. And I got invited into the military. Like 5 master masons or something approached me, and they're like, hey, do you want to come to our charity event and check out the Freemasonry thing? They tried to suck me into the Church of Scientology when I was in Hollywood, and I thought that was funny, but
you don't want to say anything bad about those fuckers, man.
I love Tom Cruise and John Travolta.
Tom
They are
Cruise
the
is in the
best.
closet.
Bro, are you being serious? Are you being serious?
Nah, man.
Oh, I was about to say,
They're so wacky. That whole thing's so wacky. Don't even start on that shit.
Yeah.
That's why I love South Park. They'll go after everybody, especially Scientologists.
The man who founded your religion was literally an accomplished sci-fi writer. That's a red flag right there. That's a red flag. And he kicked it with the
L. Ron Hubbard,
dude from the labs. You know what I'm talking about? JPL. He kicked it with Parsons.
Jack Parsons.
Yeah, and he kicked it with that other crazy bastard from England.
Aleister
Crowley. Yeah, Crowley. That's all red flags right there, man.
Mm-hmm. Another thing of like, this would be a form of evil coming against me, right? So I have a cousin, or not really necessarily a blood relation cousin, but it's my Uncle Fred's daughter who is by marriage. And she messages me one night on Messenger. And she's like, hey, I was born with the ability to tell fortunes and all these different things. And I was like, okay, like, I'm not really interested. And she's like, are you sure? Let me try it out. Let me test it on you. And she was like, what do you want to know? And I didn't ask her any questions. She's like, oh, I bet you want to know about like who your true love is. And I was like, not really. And then she started like babbling on, and I ended up having to block her because I was like, I can't listen to this shit. Because she was like, your true love is this 5'2" blonde girl that and your friends know her. And she works with certain thing. It was with meats in town, and it was just so out of the blue. Like, it was just trying to distract me from whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, whether just be existing or like, I don't know what, like, my true purpose. I don't think anyone knows what their true purpose is until like you die, but it's like that kind of shit happens out of the blue. And it could be a psychic, it could be just some random ass person trying to do some shit and tell me I'm from a different place and all these different things. But it's
this cousin, before she out of the blue texted you about this, I mean, do you guys talk often, or was it like one of those things where you don't really talk at all, and one day she just was like, hey, I want to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't talk.
Sorry, that's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's just like out of the blue. I was just like, what the hell? And the moment that I moved to Hollywood, or to South Central Los Angeles, my mom gets approached by this chick who's super hardcore into like Wicca and all that crap, and she becomes really close with my mom, and my mom lets me stay with her. And she was causing massive problems within my family, and my mom ended up having to kick her out.
But wow. Ow.
Sounded like she was just a problem anyway, and just wanted to start confrontation. Well, she had to be at center.
It makes me think that since I left, that I had no say, and then she could just waltz into my family and try and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
One second. I'm sure.
Truth, I'm about to send you something. I completely forgot about this shit.
Send me what?
You'll see.
So you guys are talking about UFO encounters? I got one if you want to hear it. It's brief. It's my one and only.
Go ahead.
All right. So it's kind of weird, but I'll get to it. So me and my boys, it was me and my two other buddies, and we used to play at this rec center, play ball, play roughhouse, you know what I mean? And there was a light there that stayed on real late so we could play all night. And this is something we did almost like every weekend, basically. And I wasn't even the one that noticed it first. It was my boy Chris who noticed it first, right? So we're balling. It was probably like 9 o'clock at this point. And there is the planes that go around all the time, because there's the Philadelphia airport, there's the Northeast airport, and there's a Willow Grove Naval Air Station that's not too far away. So we're used to seeing shit like planes, you know what I mean? Planes around. And he noticed, he's like, yo, what the hell is that? So all three of us walk over and we look at this thing, and it's coming in slow. It's almost like they forgot to put the cloaking on or whatever, right? And it was a straight up disc with lights going around the disc, right? Here's where it gets crazy though. So I don't know what happened. I want to say it was a flash or something, but it didn't. But there was no physical light came out. It just felt like a flash, right? And then I'm standing there still looking at it, and then my boys are behind me like, "Yo, Kev, what the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "What?" They were just standing next to me looking at this shit, right? But now, after this flash hit, they're behind me, and they don't remember a goddamn thing. Okay. I'm like, "Wait, did you guys just see that?" And they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So to this day, we all three of us saw some shit, and I'm the only one that remembers it. It's crazy. There it is. That's my whole story. The shit zoomed the fuck off after the flash thing. Yeah.
Maybe they just don't want to. Maybe they just don't want to acknowledge it because it weirded them out so much.
Dude, I don't think so. It really seemed like they had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. I mean, that's how I don't know. That's how it felt anyway. And then knowing them, like, that's not. I don't feel like that's something they would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you got to think too. Sometimes things happen, and for some people, they block it out of their minds so much they actually don't remember it. That they have to actually have hypnosis or other things to trigger that memory.
Yeah, it was weird, man. Now I'm thinking, like, how come they got zapped and didn't remember it? How come I got to be one that remembers the shit? How come the zap didn't work on me too? You know what I mean? Now I got this stupid ass story to tell. It makes no sense. I got no one to back me up either.
Brock, that you in chat?
Yeah.
Broccoli? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's because I may be using like Wicca in a negative context, but I don't believe that there is like anything on Earth. I believe that there's a good and a bad in everything. There's a good side and there's a bad side.
Oh yeah,
sure that.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on my arm, it's a dragon and a phoenix, and it means yin and yang.
Boop, 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 boop. All right.
As you can see, my cat made a chair out of my neck.
He's just like sort of like, hey,
he's like,
who's that? Who are you talking to?
What are you doing over there? What are you doing?
Who are those guys? I want attention.
I would never dismiss anyone's beliefs unless they're held in negative intent.
Everybody's entitled to their beliefs. It's the people that try to ram them down your throat that I have a problem with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, guys. So I think we're gonna end it. We've been going for like 2 hours, but I'll do another one tomorrow night because I'm off tomorrow too. So
can we do it earlier than 11:45?
Yeah, yes. I plan on doing it around 8 or 8 between 8 and 8:30. We won't wait till almost midnight again like we did last night, Bass. Stop fucking complaining, all right?
He's saying he needs his beauty sleep.
He's not the pretty one though.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. He needs to catch up. That's a lot of catching up to do.
Brock, that's crazy. It's nice to hear your story, brother. Take it easy, guys.
Yep, Rogue. When we do one tomorrow night, you're welcome to hop in, dude.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet.
All right, definitely.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep, we are going to call it a night, Mr. Wilcutt. We will see you. We will have you back tomorrow, Brock. If you're able to come on tomorrow, you can come back on, and tomorrow we can just shoot the shit about random stuff like we normally do on the channel, like movies and every other random topic we want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I enjoyed this. This is really nice. I like being able to share my story and whatnot, but I'd rather just shoot the shit and whatnot.
Oh, dude, we
shooting it hard last night after the
we were fucking
investigation
doing like who would win, Pennywise or Pinhead, shit like that, like. Yeah, so
the Creeper versus Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got mad random last night, but we'll probably do
and chat went haywire.
Yeah, it did. we'll do an impromptu randomness tomorrow where we just talk about all kinds of wild shit. But for now,
BYOT, bring your own topic.
Yep, and what I'll do tomorrow, I'll drop the link in the chat so whoever wants to come in can come in. But we're gonna end this. I will check you guys tomorrow. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. You guys want to say bye to the chat?
Enjoy, Joe. Thank you again, Brock, for coming on.
Yep,
absolutely.
I greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it. And you are welcome on you are welcome on the show anytime. Anytime you want to come on. It doesn't necessarily have to be for an interview. Come on and shoot the shit with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we're about here. We're all about a friendly, chill environment.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm down with it. I need to put some more stuff into my life anyway, so.
Glad that you finally came on, Brock.
What did it say? What did they say in the movie? Welcome to the fraternity.
Yeah. When I get that new apartment, I definitely want to get some cameras and stuff set up to see if there's any actual activity that I can catch.
Oh, definitely. Even so, man,
cat on your shoulder is going to catch everything.
Even so, you might be able to pick some shit up with with just having a voice recorder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll pick up like bangs, knocks, whispering, whatever could be going on in that place. It might pick it up.
Yeah, a regular home security system will work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Dave, this is that thing I was telling you about.
All right. Yeah.
Pocket juice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, but we gonna call this one. So we will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us. Check you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Later.
Have a good night, chat.